Thanks for watching our weekly video here on high school football. I'm Fox 23 Sports Director Nathan Thompson, along with the Tulsa World's Barry Lewis. And hard to believe the season wrapping up for a lot of classes this week as we have some state title games. And it seems like just the other day we started covering high school football this season.
Yes, the season got rolling in August, and here we are, championship week for many of the classes.
So let's go over your top area games involving area teams. It's in the columns in the Tuesday edition of the Tulsa World, so you can pick it up and check it out there for yourself. But number one, Class 6A1 final. What a game here. Broken Arrow, ranked number one, undefeated. Tigers going for their first ever state title in football, taking on traditional powerhouse Jenks. Only has the one loss this season, and that was to Broken Arrow. So can't ask for much better matchups. Friday night at H.A. Chapman Stadium at TU.
Very intriguing. History would indicate that you should pick Jenks, because in the last 3 years, the team that has lost the regular season meeting has won the championship game. And Jenks has a lot of state titles. However, Broken Arrow has been so dominant this year, except for in the semifinals. And they've looked like a championship team all season long. And it's hard to pick against Broken Arrow. Some great players involved in this game. I mean, look at Jenks, Ian Corwin, Noah Hernandez, Brady Latham, Broken Arrow, Noah Cortez, Zach Marcaselli, Gavin Potter. You just go on and on and on. There's so much talent. It's just going to be a tremendous matchup. Broken Arrow won in the regular season 28-13. I think this game will be much closer.
Should be interesting to see your number two game. And this is the Class 2 state final. You've got Bixby, ranked number one, going for another state title after coming up a little short in the title game against Booker T last season. Taking on Stillwater, Pioneers team that you don't traditionally throw in there with the top of Class 6A2, but they're undefeated on the season. And Mike Gundy's kid at quarterback, which we'll have a story with him in our Wednesday sportscast. Jeff went up there to talk to him. So another great matchup here.
Yes, Bixby crushed Stillwater in the playoffs last year. I think, again, this will be another game. I think it's going to be closer. Just hard to pick against Bixby, which seems to peak at the right time every season, at least the last 5 seasons under Coach Lord Montgomery. Quantrell Walker is quite a talent for Stillwater. I mean, you talk about a great passing combination, Gundy and Bland, but they're helped because they've got a great running back, Quantrell Walker. He set all types of records. He's going to rush for over 2,000 yards this year. He's going to be concerned for Bixby, but I just think Bixby, sophomore quarterback Mason Williams, wide receiver DB Brendan Presley, there's just going to be a little too much in the end for Stillwater. And that championship game experience, I think, is really helpful for Bixby.
And that game is 7 o'clock Friday night at Owasso High School, so a little bit closer for Bixby than for Stillwater. Your number 3 game, we're going a little smaller here, Class 2A, and they're only in the semifinals there, a week behind. Number 2 Beggs taking on number 7 Metro Christian, so a couple of Green Country area teams here in Beggs who made the finals in Class 3A last year, trying to do it again in Class 2A this year.
Yes, Beggs, 2 great comebacks in the last 4 weeks. It seems like they might be a team of destiny, because you don't see 2 comebacks at this point of the season like Beggs pulled off very often, besides just being a really outstanding team. Metro Christian has been a team on the verge of greatness for a long time. They've won a lot of district titles, won a lot of games, but they've never been able to get past the semifinals. Will this be Metro's year? It could be. I'm going to make Beggs a slight favorite, however.
And that one's going to be played at Sapulpa High School, George Collins Stadium, Friday night. On the other side of the bracket, it's Sperry versus Adair, and that's going to be in Claremore. They're playing that at a neutral site. Also in another great matchup here between a couple of Green Country teams. So all 4 teams are from our area here in the semifinals in 2A.
It's going to be a fun quarterback matchup between Sperry's Bo Teal and Adair's Austin Hines. Both can run, both can throw. It should be a great game. It'll probably be a closer game than when they met last year in the first week of the season when Sperry won by 3 touchdowns. So look for a much closer and better game this time around. That game last year was a little bit sloppy. I think this is going to be a really excellent matchup. And 2A's got some potential for some really interesting championship game matchups. If things break the right way, you could have an Adair Metro rematch or Sperry Beggs rematch, and both of those would be fun to watch.
And your number 5 game is in Class B semifinals, but it looks like a title matchup because you have number 1 Shattuck versus number 2 Davenport, two teams that are both undefeated on the season.
And Davenport's coming in this game with 5 consecutive shutouts, but it's hard to pick against them. But it's hard to pick against Shattuck because they've won so many state titles in the last 15 years, so it's a blockbuster matchup.
Now, don't forget, pick up some Tulsa Worlds this week because on Thursday and Friday, you've got some cool things coming up.
Yes, in Thursday's Tulsa World, in my column, I'm going to lead off with, I'm going to take a look at the Jenks and Broken Arrow defenses, particularly Broken Arrow's reluctant linebacking breakout star, Gavin Potter. 6 months ago, being a linebacker wasn't on his mind, and now he's one of the best linebackers in the state and committed to Kansas State as a linebacker. So a very interesting story involving him. And then on Friday, we're going to take a look at Noah Cortez from Broken Arrow and Jenks' Ian Corwin. They've had such incredible careers, have set all types of records, and they're going to close out their high school football careers on Friday night in the championship game. So going to be taking a look at both of those outstanding players. And
also in Friday's paper, you have a preview of all the games involving area teams. And then pick up a Saturday paper, the Tulsa World, to have all the coverage of Friday night's games, including some great pictures and photos from the Tulsa World photography team, stats and scores from across the state, so make sure you do that. And always, you can check out okprepsextra.com. It's a great high school sports website that the Tulsa World puts on. As far as Fox 23, as I mentioned, we'll have a story on Stillwater and Mr. Gundy's kid, the quarterback for the Pioneers. That's going to be Wednesday on Fox 23 Sportscast, and then Friday we'll be live from TU to preview that Jenks Broken Arrow game at 6:20. We'll be live at 6:20, and then we will have coverage of that game and, of course, the 6A2 game and some other games after the Pac-12 championship game that airs on Fox. So we're going to be on a little bit later this Friday night because of the Pac-12 championship game. But we'll have lots of extended high school sports, high school football coverage Friday night on Fox 23. And you can always go to the fox23.com high school football page where we'll cut up all the highlights that we air Friday night, and you can watch each individual game whenever you want. Thanks for watching. Have a good Friday night watching high school football.